Robert Randall, right here. I'm just going to do a real quick demo of what I think is a really neat guitar that I made, drum roll please, for my niece for her 14th birthday. Because she finally expressed just the tiniest interest in wanting to learn how to play guitar. That's all I needed to make a rad learner guitar for her. Me and her dad were talking about this because he plays guitar, and we were talking about should you start on electric, should you start on acoustic, and so I decided to do both because that's kind of what I want to build anyway. That's the problem with making these instruments, is like, I'm kind of just going to make what I want anyway. But I think this is a really great guitar for a beginner, and I got to try out some fun stuff because I know this kid's personality, and I think they'll like what I've done here. So just a quick tour of the whole thing. I just recently, because I was running out of my old stock of green veneer, so I ordered a whole bunch of fresh green veneer because I end up using that color a lot, and it came with these really, really bright greens in the pack, in the variety pack, you know, and I thought this was the perfect one to use. This almost garishly bright green, but I gotta say, once finish is on it, and once you have contrast, I did a little inlay, or marquetry flower there, and once you have some contrast, and once it's shiny and darkened a little from finish, it's a really cool effect. And I also chose to do some bright colors for this rosette. I make these rosettes out of resin and acrylic paint. And I'm starting to get the mix down to where I really like the effect I'm getting. I'm not getting too many bubbles, and I have a mix that flows nicely, which was a big problem for a bunch of guitars. I've been trying to do this for years. I think I'm finally starting to get the hang of it. Floating humbucker attached to this pickguard I made, and as a experiment, because I experimented with another guitar that's in the same body shape, which is honestly just a little Regal Maybell body shape that I copied and made this cutaway for. That's sort of Rickenbacker-ish, I guess, the cutaway. But anyway, I made another one of these guitars with this body shape. I'll put up there. And for the pickguard, I ended up collaging or mod podging onto the pickguard a page from Where the Wild Things Are to make the design. And this time I was like, well, what if I painted a little design and Mod Podged it on there? And so we have this paper textured from like scrapbook paper pickguard. I painted these little flowers on to match the whole vibe and fun aesthetic of this guitar. Also, like a Maybell, it's short scaled, 24 inches, so it's like a normal guitar with 1 fret less. So for somebody with that's younger, smaller hands, I thought it'd be a good starter instrument. What else? Oh yeah, the materials of this guitar are kind of interesting. This is a piece of cedar I got from the Rebuilding Center here that I thought it was so tight-grained and was a particularly beautiful piece of just like decking cedar, basically, you know, hardware store, lumberyard kind of cedar. And that kind of thin dimension that's, what is it even after it's been flattened? But, and so I used that and I hollowed it out. It's all hollowed out, just with walls, you know, thicker than a guitar and the kerfing, but not much. And so you get a very, very light instrument. Spruce top, old Doug fir neck. I found some really nice looking Doug fir also at the Rebuilding Center here. That was an old stair tread, and I'm actually have another neck cut out of it for Orville Gibson copy I'm making right now, and that one has a nail in it that is a square, or you know, rectilinear nail, a forged nail, and it's made of what seems to be mild steel. And also a little interesting thing about this guitar is when I attached the neck, which I always do with hide glue, To seat the neck, I'll often use a blow dryer. And as I heated up the heel of this neck, I started to see the pitch run a little bit, which leads me to believe this was not a kiln-dried piece of wood. So what do these things tell me? This tell me this is probably like 100-year-plus-year-old timber, piece of timber, which is kind of cool, and because I love old Doug fir, and it's in abundance in the Pacific Northwest here. And I won't get into how much I love Doug fir. I think it's a great wood. And so it's got Doug fir neck, blah, blah, blah. More resiny kind of inlays and side dots. Same colors as here, and on the side I have green. I tried to make this as fun of an instrument like as possible looking. You know, just like a fun, playful instrument. Little thumb wheels here. Tiger wood bridge and tailpiece. I've done the thing I've done for a bunch of guitars now, where the string ground is done with Ferris paint, and that's what's connecting all. I have a little ground bus that runs up here to it, and this whole front face of the tailpiece is painted, and that's where the strings ground, which I like more and more all the time. Just conceptually, I like this idea. And it's a great, cool guitar. And I think she's gonna really like it. I would be thrilled to get a guitar like this as my first guitar. And I think it's an open enough platform that just about anybody could learn to play most any kind of music, with some exceptions, but I'm sure, you know. And I can't wait to see what she does with it. Anywho, that's the guitar.